wholesome humans, and welcome back to the Ash Gracie podcast. So, hey y'all, I'm gonna be real with you today. It has not been the best of weeks. It has not been the most positive of weeks, and it has been a reminder that sometimes life decides to throw a lot of shit at you at the same time, and that life truly is just pure chaos. And so we, as beings who are trying to stay organized, or trying to reach our goals, or trying to do all of these things, are living in a world of pure chaos. And often that does not bode well with our systems and the way that we are to function as human beings. And that's definitely not an easy thing to navigate, no matter who you are, what your background is, like what you've been through, all of that fun stuff. At the end of the day, we're all here now, and that in itself is something to acknowledge, something to be aware of, and in my opinion, something to celebrate. I think even though life is what it is the chaotic mess that it is, we shouldn't let that deter us or stop us from celebrating the fact that we get to go through this thing that we call life, and we get to have all of these experiences and do all of the things we do every day. And I feel like that there's this notion that society has set up where you celebrate yourself on your birthday, you celebrate the start of a new year, you celebrate when there's a holiday. But this idea of celebration, why is it only reserved for those events? Why is the day that you were born the only day that society deems you allowed to celebrate who you are? Because at the end of the day, all of us have our goals, and all of us have our setbacks, and all of us have our own journey. And with any journey, there are going to be accomplishments, and there are going to be setbacks, and there are going to be times where standards will be met or standards will not be met, and it's just kind of up to us to figure it all out. And there are times where we go through something, or we achieve a certain aspect of our goal, or we make progress, and we don't acknowledge it because we don't feel like it's large enough to make a big deal about, or it's significant enough for it to impact any other person other than yourself. And I think what I'm trying to get at is that we really need to be open to celebrating the small things, because it's the small things that count, and it's the small things that accumulate into the bigger things, and the bigger projects, and the bigger goals, and everything that you have ever wanted to achieve, and everything that you want to achieve, and everything that you will want to achieve. No matter how big those things are or seem, they are all comprised of a million different little things. And if you are unable to be proud of the little things and unable to celebrate the little things, then how are you going to do that for the big things? Because what I've learned, at least in the past couple weeks of just dealing with life, that is the only way to get through it, really. Day by day, step by step, one thing at a time. And so, for every step that you take, make sure you acknowledge it, and make sure you're proud of it, and make sure you celebrate it. And that doesn't mean throw a huge party every time you take a step. It doesn't mean that it has to be something big. It doesn't mean it has to involve every single person you've ever met in your entire lifetime. Just celebrate it for you, and know that you know that you've done this, and you should be proud of it for yourself. And there are definitely people who are not at a place where they can do that yet, and that's okay. And that's why we have support systems and people around us to celebrate, not for us, but to celebrate with us, and to take on that celebration and pride of who we are when we are unable to do so ourselves. It's an interesting journey, because some people are so good at acknowledging themselves and celebrating themselves, and other people just can't seem to wrap their heads around the idea that they are someone worth celebrating. And I think that's something that just sucks with life, is that some people don't know how others see them, and some people don't know how worth celebrating they are. And even small progress is progress. And it doesn't have to be big to be considered progress, and it doesn't have to be big to be worth celebrating. Because at the end of the day, you are where you are now because of every step you've taken to get here. And for every step you've taken to get here, you should know that every step that you've taken is worth celebrating, because there's something about you, or something about your life right now, that is achieving a goal that you've had. Whether to be at the school that you're at, to turn the age that you are, to have a certain project that you've completed, or anything of the sort. You've achieved at least one big goal in your life. And if you've done that, if you've done one, then you can do any. If you know that you are capable of achieving and getting and making what you want happen, then you can keep going. And sometimes, even though sometimes it seems like there might not be a point, and the world just feels useless, because sometimes it does. Like, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, like, sometimes it really just does. But every experience and every achievement and every step, I hope at least, gives you hope that there are more goals that you will make, and that you will create, and that you will work towards, and that you will achieve. And it won't happen tomorrow. That's one thing I can guarantee. You're not going to wake up tomorrow and have everything you've ever wanted, because that's not how life works. Life likes to throw challenges in our faces and shake the world up to see how much we can withstand, and show us, through the people around us, the experiences around us, what we are truly capable of, because otherwise we would never know. And I think that's the interesting thing about life, is that society has created this system where we don't celebrate the things that should be celebrated, because we are so fixated on how many years someone has been alive for. Like, think about that. Why are we celebrating the number of years someone has been alive for when we could be celebrating all the things that they've done in their life? Because some people who haven't lived as long have been able to achieve more than people who have lived until later years in life. And by achieve, I don't mean society's standard of achievement. I mean based on what they personally want in life and their personal goals. And so why wait? Why wait to do things? Why wait to celebrate? Why wait to live the life that you have always wanted to? Like, what are your reasons for not doing it? Because honestly, if you want to celebrate, then start now and start celebrating. That's all I gotta say anyway. And from someone who often thinks that they are insignificant in the world, I want you to remember, and please don't forget this: you are amazing, you are loved, and I thank you for being here.